Do you believe in the law of attraction, and how do you use it in your life, in your business, and everything that you do? Well, the truth is that this is something that I kind of uncovered or stumbled into a few years ago. I watched the movie from when The Secret came out, whenever that was, and I thought it was interesting, but I really didn't do much with it, or I didn't even know how to use it to my advantage or anything like that, because it was just a little bit too confusing for me, and I kind of let it go. And then about 3.5 years ago, I kind of stumbled into this idea of the law of attraction once again. In case you don't know what the law of attraction is, or if you've never heard of it, this is a very kind of, I don't know if it's woo or spiritual, or I don't know what you want to call it, but it's a different way of looking at life. And it's basically this idea that thoughts become things, and that your reality is shaped by your ideas, by your beliefs, by things that you want, or things that you attract into your life. So everything that happens in your life is something that, or is a consequence of something that you created. So this is something that you can believe in or you cannot believe in. It has nothing to do really with religion. It really has to do more with just your beliefs around the way that life works. Like I was saying, I kind of stumbled upon this a few years ago, and when I saw it, or when I discovered it first, it felt like, okay, this is a fun little theory. It sounds interesting. But then I started doing things into my life and applying certain things and getting into it more and more and more, and really seeing this show up in my business every single day. And I say in my business, but really in everything. It's just that I have been more intentional with applying it into my business than in any other field at all. Just because I can see results firsthand a little bit more in my business, in the sense that if I'm trying to attract clients or attract money or attract situations, I could see the result from it quickly, right? So again, these are things that I'm not at all trying to impose on everybody. This is just my own personal experience with it, and you can choose to believe in it or not. I kind of believe that whether you believe in it or not, it's still going to happen anyways. I've really become somebody who has become just very passionate about this in my own personal life, and I use it every single day. So I kind of want to tell you guys a little bit behind how I use law of attraction in my own business every single day, how it works for me, and how you can apply it in your own life as well if you're interested in that. So let me know in the comments if this is something that has interested you in the past, if this is something that you believe in and you have been applying for yourself. So there's a few different ways in which I implement this in my own business. And it always starts with getting very clear on what it is that I want, right? For me to be able to attract things into my life and to have things happen for me and things kind of unfold in a different way, I first need to begin with thinking, okay, what do I actually want? What are the things that I want to happen in my life? And I sometimes struggle with this personally, because there's this mix between of like, how do I choose between the short term and the long term? How do I choose between what I want to happen this month versus how do I choose with what I want to happen in the next 5 years of my life? And then getting clarity on, okay, how specific do I get into it? Or how do I define what I really want? So I kind of struggle with this sometimes. And I try to vary it a little bit, right? So I try to focus sometimes on the short term, right? Every single month as I start the month, I try to set goals for the month in terms of income. And obviously, I'm doing all my things, and I'm focusing on my mindset, and I'm focusing on making sure that I'm out there and I'm doing the work, and I have my systems and I have my funnels and all the things in place. But there's a point where you're doing things and then the rest is up to God or up to the universe or whatever you believe in, right? Like the rest is out of your control, because as great as I am at what I do, is as much as I want to get out there every single day and do videos and do things and send emails, I can't control other people. I can't control whether other people see it or whether other people are connected with it. So, you have to do as much work as you can, and you have to let the universe take care of the rest. So I like to start each month with setting a goal for myself for myself and for my team in terms of, okay, what do we want to see happen? And usually we have goals that are kind of stable, meaning that those goals don't really change that much throughout the year. I mean, they do change throughout the year, but like it's something that we kind of build on, right? Because we have big goals and big things that we want. So anyways, the point is that we always start with setting a goal for the month. But I have been really focusing lately on truly visualizing and truly connecting on things that I want to happen as well for myself. So closing my eyes and connecting with the things that I want in my future, in my far, maybe it's not far, but like what is the best life that I could possibly imagine, right? So I really start with doing that, getting very clear on what I want on a short-term goal basis, like, okay, what do I want to happen this month? And then focus the whole month, my energy around that happening. And then on the big or the long term is, okay, what do I want my life to look like? And what are the things that I want to happen? So once I do that, there's kind of a little simple process that I personally try to go through in order for me to kind of use law of attraction in my favor. And I'm not trying to hack it, because I don't believe that there's any way of hacking it, but it's, doing these little things that really have helped me being able to manifest a lot of things in my life. And I'll actually share a little story with you around it. In March of this year, I started the month, I think it was March. It might have been February or April. No, it was April. I'm trying to think. In March or April, it doesn't matter. Anyways, March of this year, I start the month with this idea of like, wouldn't it be cool if I made 80K this month? It would be amazing. And I spent the whole month like being super excited about like, this would be so much fun, and just kind of knowing internally that it was going to happen, but without trying to control the how, which is the really tricky part with law of attraction, right? Because usually what happens is that we get excited about something that we want to happen in our lives. We really want this thing. We want to manifest it. But then we start thinking about, how is that going to happen? I'm not sure. Like, how do I have, like, it's never happened before. Will it really happen for me? And we start getting into the how, and that brings our energy down. And obviously we stop manifesting or attracting the things to happen into our lives. I believe that for us to really attract things, situations, or manifest, or whatever you want to call it, we really need to start with believing that it's going to happen. Like, that is the actual key for it to happen, for us to believe in it. So anyways, March of this year, I, for some reason, internally, I start acting like, I'm not going to lose anything anyways. Let me just believe it's going to happen and like let it go. And of course, the last day of the month, we hit $81,500 in sales in that month. And it was so freaking exciting. And it really, when I started to look back at, okay, how did we make it happen? Like, what were the things that happened so that this situation happened, right? And I kind of really brought it down into around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Okay. So the first thing is getting clear on what you want, which is what I was talking about a minute ago. I feel like when we get super, super clear on what those things are, everything, like, it's like this GPS where you're telling it, okay, I want to go there, and everything, like, it kind of just recalculates, and gives you the direction to make that happen. I'm kind of going through a really big process of that right now, because I've been spending the last couple of weeks actively visualizing and very actively doing a lot of things in my life to imagine or to get to the places or the things that I want. And because of that, I've had a lot of different things happen internally and in my business, and even in just situations that have shown up that have told me that, like, it's like everything is recalculating to take me to that place. So getting clear on what you want is important. But the second step is getting clear that it's something that you need. So this was important for me. And the reason why I feel like you need to get clear on that thing that you want being something that you need is that if you don't believe that you need it, then it's not that important for you, and energetically you're not backing it up. Now, obviously, I didn't need 80K in a month in my business, right? Like, I mean, I didn't have to pay $80,000 in anything right now. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have an $80,000 bill for me to pay, so I didn't actively need it, thank God. But I did need to build a bigger connection with my audience. So what I mean with that personally is that, I'm not somebody that is always going to be motivated by money necessarily. I mean, obviously I'm motivated by money, but what motivates me more than money is people, is helping people get results and change their businesses. So for me, making $80,000 in a month is something that I needed, because it meant that $80,000 in a month means $80,000 in impact in people whose lives I'm changing. And that is something that I need. So for me personally, it was about connecting to that need of feeling significant and helping other people, and just being a guide for others or being a mentor for other people. So, you want to get clear on what you want, and you want to get clear on it or you have to believe that it's something that you actually need, right? So beyond it being like, okay, I need the $80,000 tomorrow because I have to pay something, it's I need this in my life in one way or another. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. Because I feel like if you don't believe that you need it at all, then it kind of becomes just really hard for you to get behind the belief that you can get it or that you want it even. So like if I were to say right now, oh, I'm going to make $1 million next month, it's very hard for me to get behind the belief of that happening. Plus, I don't need it either. So it makes it a little bit more complicated. Does that make sense? I mean, anyways, this is my process, and this is the way that I have felt that it works for me, is getting behind the belief that I need it as well. The next part of that process is believing that it's something that I deserve. And I feel like that is a really, really big one for me personally, right? And I feel like it's a big one for all of us. So for me to be able to bring law of attraction into my business, I have to believe that I deserve the thing that I want. So I have to believe, I have to want it. I have to believe it's something that I need, and I have to believe that I deserve it. And sometimes the way that I do this is just by writing it out. I deserve it. Why do I deserve to make 80K? Why is this something that I need to happen in my life? Like, why is it something that I'm worthy of? Because if you don't believe you're worthy of it, you're never going to bring it into your life. So a lot of times it's about like increasing your worthiness and increasing that like that deservability level that is really going to make a difference in you being able to use law of attraction into your business. The next thing, which is a really tricky one, is believing that it's possible. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to control the how, you have to control every single way that it's going to happen. But I believe that if I don't believe at all that it's possible, like if you were to tell me, okay, you're going to make $1 million this month, I don't believe it. Like it's impossible for me to make that happen right now. It's impossible, mathematically impossible for that to happen in any way. And maybe it isn't, maybe it is possible, but I don't believe that it's possible. So if I don't believe it's possible, it's very difficult for me to be able to attract that into my life. So for me, I have to believe that it's possible. And going back to what I was talking about in the beginning, for me to believe that it's possible, I need to have the steps and the things in place. So in my personal case, it means that I have my brand, my messaging is on point. My marketing is on point. I have a marketing strategy that is good, a funnel that I know generates leads, a funnel that I know is working for me, a system that closes deals, all of these little different pieces and places and things in place. That means that, of course, it's possible for me to generate $80,000 in a month because I have all of these things that prove to me that it can happen. Now, obviously, the how behind where the person is going to come from or how it's going to happen, or if it's going to happen in the first day of the month or in the last day of the month, I can't control that. And you definitely need to release that control. But for me to be able to believe that it's possible, I actually need a system in place for that to happen. Now, this is me. Maybe for you, you're the type of person who doesn't need to believe it's possible. For you, it's like I've read so many like Abraham Hicks and Mike Dooley and like Course in Miracles and all these people who talk about law of attraction, and they're always talking about releasing the how, and that how that is fundamental. And I agree to a certain extent, but I also feel like for us to really be able to attract things into our lives, we need to be able to just know and understand at least that it's possible for us. You know what I mean? Like, because if I don't have a business in place at all, like if I don't have any systems, any structure at all in place, I'm never going to believe that it's possible for me. So I need to have some sort of general knowing of the how. personally, again, this is my personal thing, without knowing all the details of how it's going to happen, just some sort of structure in place for it to happen. And then the last thing is that you have to believe that it's safe. You know, your mind is always going to do what's necessary to keep you safe. So you have to know within your bones that what you want is something that is safe for you. So you got to get clear on what you want. You have to believe it's something that you need. You have to believe it's something you deserve. You have to believe that it's possible, and you have to believe that it is safe for you. I think that at the core of all of this, for law of attraction to work in your business, in your life, there has to be belief behind it. You have to believe that this is something that's going to happen for you, and that it's not something that is like completely bogus, completely impossible. There's no way for me to make it happen. Because if you're believing that and you're stuck into the how and into the math or into reality, it makes it really difficult. You know, for me, I feel like you start with the vision, really. You really start with the vision of what it is that you actually want. And then you get excited behind it. You build your energy up to make that something really, really amazing. Right now, you know, obviously I'm a little bit tired today. You guys can probably tell. But what's been happening to me in the past week is my energy has been super, super high behind this vision that I have. And I know for sure that that vision is something that is already here. Like it's done. It's a done deal. It's not something that is going to happen, that is maybe going to happen, that will possibly happen, but it is done. And then Christine says, you know, for her, it's about releasing who says yes and who says no. The thing behind that, Christine, is that there's lack behind that thought. Because if you're releasing people who say no, you're having a hard time releasing people who say no. It's because you believe that there's not anybody else that's going to say yes. So there's lack behind that. You always have to understand that whoever is going to be the right person is going to come, and there's more to come for you. Like there's always a huge list of people waiting for you right this minute. So I think that what tends to happen a lot in general with law of attraction, but with any of these things, is that we focus too much on ourselves. We focus too much on, you know, what, like, I want to make this amount of money, and I want this, and I want that, and I want to reach this goal. And yes, I was just saying you need to get clear on your vision, but also you need to get clear on your vision and how that vision is going to affect other people as well. So for me, for example, like I was saying before, thinking, okay, I want to make $80,000 a month in my business. Obviously that excites anybody, right? Making $80,000 cash in your business is amazing and it's exciting. But for me, what excites me more is that $80,000 means I helped 10 people, 8 people, I don't know, however many people. And I'm changing these people's lives. And that excites me more. So now I'm not attracting just for me, but I'm attracting for others as well. You know, I try to be extremely vigilant around my words and around my thoughts. You know, I signed up for this, mastermind from Mike Dooley. If you guys don't know Mike Dooley, he's the Notes from Universe guy. There's an audio of his that is one of the best things that I've ever heard, ever. And it's called Leveraging the Magic and Engaging the Universe. It's on Audible, and this is like a conference he gave, I think, a few years ago. It's like a 4-hour long Audible, but it is so good. But I signed up for a mastermind of his, and he's always drilling you into thoughts become things, thoughts become things, thoughts become things. So right now I'm super vigilant of my thoughts and just being very, very aware of them and try not to get triggered with these external events. So giving you an example, for some reason, I've been doing Facebook ads for the past almost 2 years in my business. And for some reason, this past week, like the week ago, the ads were converting like never before. Insanity. Like we'd never had so many people come in. It was the best week possible. And then after that incredible week, the last 4 days have been not working that well. In the past, that would have triggered me and I would have been like, oh my God, I would have freaked out. Right now, I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm still making $80,000 this month because I'm convinced that that's going to happen. And you guys will see it. I will show you by the end of this month that this is going to be true, by the way, because it's already true. I know it. But anyways, so right now, in the past, it would have triggered me. But right now, I'm like, it's fine. We'll fix it. We refreshed the ads. We did the changes that we need to do. And that's it. Like, I know it's good. Like, it's not an issue of, oh my God. It's an issue of, whatever, let's just fix it. Let's just change whatever we have to change and let's make it running, right? So I don't get triggered around these things because I know thoughts become things, and I am completely certain of my success. I'm completely certain of the things that I'm doing and the things that are happening for me. I'm already living in there. And I know that's tough when you're going through a really huge moment of lack, because I've been through those moments of lack and they suck. But that's when we have to fight the most to keep our energy up. I believe that one of our biggest responsibilities as entrepreneurs is keeping our energy, our vibe, whatever we want to call it, as high as possible, and doing things that feel good, and doing things that feel exciting, and doing things that just make us happy. When we feel happy, good things come to us. Like, we are a magnet for happy, right? Christine says, exactly, I'm committed to my process, not the source of where the money is going to come from. Because when we have a tunnel vision, we might exclude an income source because we want it from a particular client, product, or service. Absolutely. So it's, doing having all the pieces in place and then letting everything go so that things just happen, so that you are opening yourself up to things happening. But also, it's just keeping your energy nice and high so that you can bring these things into your life. Definitely gratitude helps, for sure. That is the biggest thing for me. I wake up every single day and I write my gratitude in a journal. What am I grateful for today? I'm also reading this book, and I think I talked to you guys about it recently, and I'll do a whole thing on gratitude, but I'm reading this book, which is Think and Grow Rich, and has like 30 daily, or not 30, but it has daily experiments for 30 days and things that you can do to get back into gratitude, or 27 days, I'm not sure. Something like that. Yeah, like 27 days. But it is really, really cool, and it really helps me as well. So sticking in gratitude, getting clear on what you want, getting clear on that it's something that you need, it's something that you deserve, something that is possible, and something that is safe, is what really helps you use law of attraction in your favor to attract things into your business. But then having the pieces in place is important too. Like, you can't, this is my belief. I don't believe that I could have $1 million land in my lap in the next week if I don't have the systems for that to happen. It's not that it's impossible, but I just find it a little bit far-fetched if I don't have things in place for that to happen. So, having the pieces, it's not always about mindset. I believe that mindset is great and building our energy is great, but for us to for us to be able to manifest things into our lives and into our business, we have to believe that they're going to happen. And if you don't have a system that helps you believe, it's going to be really hard. So that's kind of my belief around that. But basically, that's how I use it. I'm always just trying to keep my energy nice and high, and keep everything that I'm doing nice and high, and my thoughts in a positive place, my energy, doing things that feel good, things that just make me happy. So anyways, just giving you a few little tips and tricks on things that I do. Again, getting clear on what you want, getting clear on it's something that you need, something that you deserve, something that is possible, and something that is safe. Those are the 5 little steps. And obviously, releasing the outcome, but that is the hardest thing to do. I think sometimes I feel like it's like a switch, right? Okay, I'm doing all these things, and then I'm trying to release the outcome and letting things come to me. Anyways, some of the things that I wanted to give you guys today about law of attraction in your business.